So we stopped in and had a cup of coffee. And these old people especially, they're sitting there, you know, and they look at you, and they talk to each other, you know, and they're all drinking vodka. Early, this is like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, right.
I said, Lily, do you think they have some kind of trade, or did they make any money? No such thing. And that's when I saw this little town, saw the first motorcycle. This guy was, honest to God, that shit was left behind when we left. He's running like crazy, holding on. He's got it in second gear, and he let out the clutch and jumps on it, and it's like a missile taking off, you know.
But he was quite. After he got back, he sat here literally for about 2 weeks, just very quiet.
I had to see him.
He couldn't get much.
Are you glad you went back?
I wouldn't take $1 million.
Wow.
What was it?
And the base, right, kitty corner across the street, it was a art
Museum?
No, there was an army base.
Oh.
And naturally the Germans took over when they were there. And I went over there, and there's no base. There's no army base. There's apartment houses. And I looked at this thing and I said, am I at the right place? And I'm looking at our house across the street. I took pictures of this, of the entrance. I just couldn't believe it.
Of your house?
Yeah.
And the house he lived in when he was
I
there.
thought
It
you
rained, and Ludwig wouldn't get out of the car. He was not feeling too well.
Well, Rudy, what did you think about that when you saw your house again where you lived, and you were thinking about maybe the people who lived there?
Should I or shouldn't I go over there? What do I accomplish? Yeah.
What difference would it make?
Really? I got some of this on tape. Remember?
Right.
If it's still alive.
Or was anybody living in the house?
Hmm?
It was still standing?
Now, who took the house when y'all? Who took the house from y'all? And
They gave it to gypsies and Serbians.
But
Nothing.
see, they had to sell their house out in the country or suburbs, would say, right? Because they taxed them so much because they were German. Now, was that Milosevic?
Baby, the Germans were already killed. The most of them died within 3 to 4 weeks.
No, I'm talking about before that, when your dad and mom had to sell their house because the taxes were so.
Yeah, well, that was the problem with the people that were in office. And my dad was a tailor, and he did some alterations for that White Russian.
Yeah.
And he came to pick it up, and he said it's outrageous for my dad to charge him with. He said, I'm going to take revenge at the courthouse and check out your taxes. And they doubled it like overnight.
Wow.
Who did?
Some Russian.
The commies.
The communists. But was that Milosevic or?
No, that was Tito.
Tito. Right. And so they taxed y'all so much that you couldn't pay the taxes, and you had to sell.
He sold the farmhouse that he inherited.
This
from
was your dad.
His dad.
Right. Yeah.
He sold that for $90,000, and he bought that 3-bedroom small house where I was
In
standing
town.
looking at for $45,000
Wow.
45,000. That's a lot of money back then.
dinar.
Oh.
It was 20 dinars to a mark.
Oh.
You couldn't figure that thing out anymore. So long ago.
Wow.
But I'm glad the whole country split up because they were all up to no good. And now they're blaming everything on the Croatian president. Got court cases going on right now about how many Jews and how many this and how many that he killed of Tito's bandits.
Now, what about your uncles who burned the records and everything?
1941 when the Germans came.
Okay, tell me about
The
that.
biggest parade you ever saw. There was not a shot fired. They were scared shitless of all that equipment and crap that the Germans had. We threw hams, loaves of bread this big around into the cars. And a lot of it went through on the other side, and people from over there threw it back. Those crowds were they were a little backwards, especially if they weren't farmers, because this was a farming community.
Yeah. Well,
With,
what about when you went to visit your uncle, when you shaved the stone off of the Martin uncle? When you went to visit them in the summertime when you were a little boy?
Shaved the stone?
Yeah, they'd put you in the barrels, the wine barrels.
When he was cleaning the wine barrels.
Yeah.